What's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. As always, alongside, it's Phil Perry, Patriots-Ravens on Sunday. We're also going to have, at the end of this program, well, at the end of Phil and I talking, we'll have Kyle Williams, Patriots wide receiver. You seen him be a deep threat? He's also got a deep voice. He did some singing with me. We did some Christmas caroling. That's your irrelevant questions. Speaking of irrelevant, does the game even matter Sunday on Sunday, Phil? Patriots-Ravens. I mean, for seeding, we're going to get into it. It's hard to make a case that it makes a massive difference as to who the Patriots will play or where they will end up. But why does this game matter, Phil Perry?
Well, it matters because if you lose, you might be inviting a creeping sense of doubt as to who you really are as a football team.
An identity crisis?
Maybe a tad, yeah. Because wouldn't it just be human nature for, if you were to lose to the Baltimore Ravens, for you to look at yourselves a little bit after losing to the Buffalo Bills and say, maybe we have had a really easy schedule. Maybe we're not one of the best teams in the conference. How's the season going to end for us?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's me being alarmist, but I would say that's only human nature. And they can beat this team the same way they could beat the Bills. So I don't think it'll change my opinion of them much, whether they win or lose. But that, to me, would be the meaningful aspect of this game.
Are they a better team than the Bills? Are they a better team than the Ravens? Short answers on both.
On the Bills, no. On the Ravens, yes.
Okay, so they should win this game. That's great. That's great.
I do think they should win this game.
I think that they should too, just given the way the Ravens have played. But it's the intangibles and the inanimates that enter into it. It's Baltimore coming off a 24-0 whitewashing. It's their defense playing so well. It's their run game having only been under 150 yards on the ground twice since September. It's their passing game kind of showing just a little bit of a sign of life after being one of the worst in the league. It's the simple presence of Lamar Jackson. Did I mention already? I don't think I did. It's a home game, and they suck at home. And they're actually making it a point of pride this week. Can we please get a win for the people who show up? And it's a Sunday night football game. And I didn't like the Patriots in the deep end last week in the fourth quarter. I wasn't comfortable with what I saw. Someday Drake May will be a guy who has a litany of fourth quarter comebacks and thrilling wins, and did you see what he just did? But I haven't seen it yet. Until I see it a couple of times, I'm going to say TBD on his late game performance.
I think that's totally fair, and it might be why you would put the Bills ahead of the Patriots. I think offensively they're just at a place where, with that quarterback and with that run game, they're hard to stop even though their receivers aren't all that impressive. You look at Baltimore, and this week, Tom, a great MVP caliber quarterback who I have a ton of respect for, in Lamar Jackson. To me, he's a tick below Josh Allen in terms of his dominance. And then I look at Baltimore and what they've done, or really what they haven't done. They have not made good on who they should be this season. We really haven't seen the Baltimore Ravens that their fans, I'm sure, have expected to see, that their coaching staff, their front office, have expected to see this year. And I know they've been banged up at times, but this should be a dominant run team. This should be a high-powered, high-flying kind of offense, even though they don't have monster receivers on the outside. They've got great tight ends, and they do have some capable receivers. And defensively, they have some really, really high-end players.
It's really weird because you look at this, the Ravens, and it's not like they're even average at something. So one of the worst teams in football with a good defense in terms of getting after the quarterback. They suck at generating sacks. They're in the lower tier. I don't know. I had it the other day on the other pod, but they are a good defense. They can't stop anyone. Excuse me. They have a great running game. They cannot score in the red zone.
Right.
31st in the NFL. So they have a bunch of different weird stats in there that make you say, well, if they put it together, they're going to be a good team. They need to put it together, too, because they are contending with the Steelers.
Yeah, it's a very important game for them. So this is important in terms of, everything that we're saying about the Patriots. Maybe this, not so much. AFC East, Jets, Dolphins take care of business there. This game doesn't matter so much. It's the opposite for Baltimore. So you might get a motivated Baltimore team, whereas you're going to get a Patriots team that's, while very good on the road, undefeated on the road, Tom, still licking its wounds from a home loss.
Wound licking. All right. So this is what I'm going to have for my slant and quick slants in just a little bit. I'm just going to read it because I wrote the whole thing out. It's succinct. I'm going to go slow so you guys can follow along.
Maybe clear your voice. Clear your voice 7 or 8 more times.
Okay.
Disgusting.
I know it was. Does this game really matter? Short answer, yes, Mojo. You don't want that annoying little voice saying, are we good enough? But what about for seeding and playoff position? It's still yes, but only kinda. Let's cut to the chase here. It's hard for the Patriots to screw up the division. They're 11-3. They have the Ravens, Jets, and Dolphins. Bills are 10-4. They have the Browns, Eagles, and Jets. Tiebreakers, obviously. Patriots are ahead in the division. Head-to-head, if the Patriots drop into a tie with Buffalo, still 1-1. You go down to the next one. Best one-loss tied percentage in games within the division. The Patriots are 3-1 with the Dolphins and Jets, presuming they're going to get to 5-1 or 4-2 at worst if they lose to the Dolphins or whatever. The Bills are 3-2, so they already have 2 losses. So Patriots have a leg up there. If somehow the Bills and Patriots end up tied in divisional games, Patriots have the best one-loss tied in common games. The Bills are 9-2 with 1 game pending that will be shared. And the Patriots are 8-1 with 3 games pending. So the Patriots are most likely, unless they really screw up, going to win the division. What about seeding? Currently, it's the Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars. Denver's going to be tough to catch. 12-2. They have the Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers. Even if the Patriots move into a tie, they're going to have the same conference record as Denver. Next tiebreaker, common games. Broncos are going to have that because of the Patriots' loss to the Raiders. So in order for the Patriots to get to 1, they need Denver to go 1-2, and the Patriots have to win out. Not impossible with the Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers. As for staying at number 2 and not dropping to 3, the Patriots are 1 game ahead of Jacksonville. Jacksonville has the Broncos, Colts, and Titans. If the Patriots and Jags wind up with the same record, Jacksonville will jump the Patriots with a better conference record. But all that said, the wild card teams are kind of set. It's Houston, it's the Chargers, and it's the Bills. And right now the Patriots would match up with Houston. But those are going to be the 3 teams. And presuming the Patriots aren't going to win the conference, they're not going to be the number 1 seed, they're going to get one of those 3 teams at home at Gillette. So there's really, you can lose this game, win one of the other 2 even, and still be fine. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs. I guess you would start maybe asking yourself, is there any way you could manufacture who you end up seeing?
I don't.
Whether it's at home or on the road?
And that's, you want to be obviously at home.
You want to be at home, no doubt.
So would you rather have Houston at home?
Would you rather have
Buffalo
Houston? Would you rather have Houston at home, or is there any way of them seeing, like, I guess there's not, Pittsburgh on the road? There really isn't.
No, because Pittsburgh's going to be a divisional winner.
Gotcha.
If
I see.
Baltimore's got a glimmer. So a lot of shit has to happen.
Yeah, I hate talking about this stuff because
Sorry
it makes
about
my
that.
head hurt. No,
Sorry
it's
about
okay.
that. That's why I tried to keep it slow and simple.
That's okay.
But
I am both of those, and it still hurts my head.
Regardless of where it goes, Patriots probably not going to get the number 1, probably going to win the division, and probably in the end, they're going to get the Chiefs. They're going to get the Chargers, the Bills, or the Texans. Probably going to be the Texans or the Bills.
Bills the third time around would be a lot of fun.
Would be.
Texans would be a really fun matchup. I'm not sure it'd be fun for the Patriots.
No.
In some ways, they might be a tougher matchup than Buffalo.
So that brings me to my next topic. Thank you. I've talked a few times this season about how I think this schedule has really been tailored for the Patriots in terms of the structure. You got to play an ass team at the beginning. You lost to it. Then you played another team on the road that's obviously not good. Miami, you got wind in your sails. You played Pittsburgh, which is supposed to be a good team, kind of is by record, but not really. You lost that game of your own accord. And then you went through a nice little phase of not playing tough teams except for one against Buffalo, and then you went back to the ass teams again. So they've had a nice breakup between playing testing teams, really good teams, bad teams to get your mojo rising, go down to Tampa, win that game. I look at this matchup here, long way around of me saying getting Buffalo and Baltimore in December is really ideal for a team that's trying to figure out where it needs help as an elite team.
And I think that was one of the big benefits of that Buffalo game was they shined a light on where you kind of stink right now. And can you fix it? Some of those things you might not be able to fix.
Or can you cover it up?
Can you cover it up? Sure, that's just as good. Can you patch over it so that others can't take advantage of it the same way the Bills did, i.e., your run defense? Can you fix that? I think that might be able to get fixed to a degree just by getting a few players back healthy. Can you fix the fact that you're not great against man coverage right now? That I'm not so sure. I'm not sure you're going to get more talented. You're not all of a sudden going to get a little more juice in that receiver room and get guys who are going to separate better when they see tight man coverage. So I don't know. But I do know they have a smart coaching staff, and I do know they have a quarterback who has some pretty incredible physical skills, and I wonder if they can't MacGyver this thing when it comes to some of those deficiencies that they have been shown to have against a good team. So this is your first opportunity, and probably your last before the postseason, because those last 2 games of the regular season are going to be, let's call it what it is, kind of a joke against backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, Brady Cook. Is it Brady? Brady Cook and Quinn Ewers.
Yes, sir.
How about Zach Wilson getting lapped down in Miami?
Tough look.
GTFB is what the Ravens are going to subscribe to on Sunday night. This is John Harbaugh speaking earlier this week about the Patriots and the problems their offense posed. Big plays is the biggest thing when you look at their offense. They just had a bunch of big plays and big runs in their win against Buffalo. Parenthetically, I added that. They have a rookie running back in Henderson that's fast and explosive. Boy, you better have your angle set up on him. They're physical, obviously, and May's made some nice throws, and sometimes he runs around, but he's made some big throws and play actions and things like that. They are a big play offense that can run the ball. It's a combination you have to be concerned about. Meanwhile, here's Drake May, interestingly, asked on Wednesday about being a check-down Charlie. You can't go long all the time, Drake.
Yeah, that's what I've been battling, probably since college. Since college, I was, more down the field, and it's not even, trying to force that. It's kind of the offense I was in, and the backs weren't getting out. They were more blocking in college, so just trying to take the plays that the defense gives me and realize that moving the chains and being in 2nd and 4 versus 2nd and 10 is better. So just challenging that, but at the same time, you got to keep the defense on his toes for not squatting on routes and let them know that we can hit one over their head.
Let's dive into the matchup a little bit. Kyle Hamilton's a fantastic player. Roquan Smith's a great linebacker. The Patriots' running game, it's again, that's something that's hard to really reconcile as well, because statistically, really impressive. But I mentioned Dave Kingman earlier this year. He's a guy who struck out a lot, but he hit some home runs, and people would say, wow, big-time hitter. Patriots are not hitting singles and doubles. Their batting average isn't great, which is why you see them not be great in the red zone. Do the Patriots have a real good running game or an explosive one? I
think they've gotten better of late in terms of being more consistent. They are certainly explosive, and they have this home run hitting back in Travion Henderson, who I think is getting better. I do. I see him running into the backs of offensive linemen less. I see him finding creases more often. And, I was actually just looking at how he performs in particular on first down. And his stuff rate, quote-unquote stuff rate on first down, so that's a gain of 0 yards or less, isn't great. It's about 16%, which is 29th out of 45 qualifying running backs. So nothing to write home about, not awesome. But it's right in the same range, just a tick below, other backs of a similar ilk.
Yep.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, these guys that are home run hitting, speed backs, pace backs. Remember, you loved that term.
I did.
Pace backs. It's just, I think, going to be sort of the nature of how he plays moving forward, and you just have to be okay with that because occasionally you are going to get that big hitter.
The gold standard, that was the lament for those of you who didn't have a chance to watch Barry Sanders when he was in the league, the gold standard of pace backs. And he wasn't a pace back. He was an every down back, but it was, Barry Sanders carried 10 times for -8 yards in that game. He's not a playoff back because there would be times when he was bottled up, and that would put it on Rodney Peete or Eric Hipple to try and figure things out for the Detroit Lions and the Silver Stretch offense from Wayne Fonts, New Bedford Zone. Okay. Whoa, the coffee's kicking in.
I love it.
Phil, I've had it brought up to me on Early Edition. I had it brought up to me on WEEI today. Maybe I'm a dummy, but I am just not really that concerned about Stefon Diggs and his declining numbers. I don't look at that and go, uh-oh. But I think Greg Bedard on Boston Sports Journal and Giardi as well have mentioned that they have some consternation about the arc of his season. I'm like, there people ask me, what do you think about Diggs? I'm like, maybe it's a personnel grouping thing. I didn't really deep dive it because I watched on Sunday the Bills double team Stefon Diggs in the deep red zone because they were so afraid of him catching a touchdown pass that Drake May was able to walk in. Just because he doesn't have numbers, I'm like, it's not a problem. Is it a problem? Is there something lacking there?
Well, I think it's a problem if and when you can't convert on 3rd and 4th down the way they couldn't late in that game.
So we want 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4. Who are they throwing to?
Because I think that's when you're going to get a lot of man coverage, and they have gotten a lot of man coverage, especially of late, and the numbers just haven't been good. Against man-to-man over the course of the last month, so 4 games, Drake May's completing just over 56% of his passes, which is way down from his average, which is 70. He's averaging 6.6 yards per attempt, which is way down from his normal everyday average. And Stefon Diggs, who is his guy in these critical situations, is why the Bills will double him in the red zone, and I'm sure he gets doubles on 3rd down as well. Stefon Diggs has just 3 catches in the last 4 games against man-to-man coverage. And to me, that is a stat that reflects what I see with my eyes, Tom, which is somebody who is great at sitting down in zone, but is maybe not the same guy, which is understandable, that he was earlier in his career when it comes to truly separating against tight man coverage.
And that, to me, comes to the chicken or the egg. Is he not being targeted? If he isn't, are Drake May's eyes going elsewhere and he's open, or is he not open? That's where you have to get into, where you have to look at the all-22 and the timing and where May's eyes were and all that shit. But why isn't Kayshon Boutte more of a, because he's physical, because he's strong at the catch point, because he's got great body control, why isn't he more frequently utilized? They have 3 guys who I will look at as, you want to get it to them on 3rd down. And Demario Douglas doesn't fit that. I've concluded that he's not Edelman, he's not Amendola, he's not Wes Welker. He's a different kind of receiver. But you have Mark Andrews plays for the other team, you donkey. You have Hunter Henry.
It'd be nice if they had him.
Hunter Henry.
Good player.
Kayshon Boutte and Stefon Diggs would seem to me, and throw Mac Hollins in there. You got 4 guys who you can look at as 3rd and 4 options that you should be able to say, that guy can win. Even if he's covered, he can win. I would say less so with Henry. He's just not – he's a very, very good tight end. He's a borderline Pro Bowl level tight end, but he's not, holy shit, what are we going to do? We have to send 2 guys at him.
And I would say the same thing with Hollins. Hollins just, to me, is, he's a 3 or a 4 receiver on a good team. And so they don't have that guy, clearly, who is your quote-unquote number 1, who, regardless of the coverage, regardless of the situation, you can look his way and feel good about going in his direction, even if he's got somebody draped on him. I think the closest thing they have to that is Kayshon Boutte. And we talked to him on Expats this week, and we talked about him being calm at the catch point, and he's such an interesting receiver because he's not incredibly fast. And he's pretty open about the fact that the injury that he suffered in college kind of changed who he had to be as a player. But he's savvy. We see him run these double moves where he's patient on the first move and is able to separate from guys on the second move. And even when he is in tight coverage, he's among the league leaders according to Next Gen Stats, and they have all these little tracking devices, and they're able to watch and see how close the defenders are to the receivers. When he has a yard of separation or less, he's among the league leaders in football in terms of the number of catches he has, the number of touchdowns he has. And so that, to me, would be the guy if they see more man coverage. And the Ravens have been a man-heavy team, and that is one thing Buffalo did last week to help slow down the Patriots' offense in the second half. They played a lot of man-to-man, and they used a lot of 2 high safety coverages. The Ravens aren't so much a heavy 2 high safety team, but they can be a heavy man-to-man team. And so my anticipation is that they'll see a lot of man on Sunday, and they should get more targets to Kayshon Boutte. So I don't know if that's a Josh McDaniels thing, if that's a Drake May thing, but even when he's covered, he's one of the few guys I think they can trust.
Was it just 1 target last week?
1 target. First throw of the game.
Ridiculous catch.
Yep.
One target in where did he make that ridiculous catch? Miami. One target in Miami. Ridiculous catch. Because that touchdown catch that he had there, I remember saying, geez, he only had that one catch, but my God. I do think he's underutilized.
And I don't know why that is. Is it because, how many of his catches, Tom, are along the boundary, down the field? Like, if that's your best route, that's a really valuable route. But if they don't trust you to run a whole lot else.
But you don't want to run that on 3rd and 4. Got to have it.
How often are you going to actually get the football? So I wonder how much of it is that, because I've seen him get open on Diggs and on over routes. And maybe it's because of the fact that he is sort of a different type of receiver where speed is not really his game. Maybe it makes it harder to use him on some of those other routes they have.
This part of the podcast is presented by Miller Lite. Legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time.
Time now for Legendary Moments, brought to you by Miller Lite. Phil Perry, my legendary moment's going to be a little bit of a downer, but it's a memorable game. What's your legendary moment from a Ravens game or the Ravens-Patriots rivalry?
Yeah, Patriots-Ravens 2014 divisional round playoff game. The legendary moment there was the double pass. Julian Edelman to Danny Amendola. Edelman with a dime down the field. Amendola runs under it. Edelman actually thought he overthrew his buddy, Dola, as he calls him. But they end up scoring that touchdown. That game was amazing, Tom. So many lead changes. That was the game with the funky formations as well. Michael Manawanui factored in massively in that game in terms of breaking out those formations. Good job by Josh McDaniels there. They win that. They win the AFC Championship game. We know what they did to the Seahawks later that postseason.
And we also know that in the postgame, Tom Brady had a comment that may have lit the wick for Deflategate. Maybe they should study the rule book.
John Harbaugh, all kinds of upset about those funky formations.
Oh, yeah, he was. I'm going to go to 2019. Patriots 8-0. They wandered down to Baltimore to play the Ravens. And boy, oh boy, we all kind of thought that wasn't your normal 8-0 team. Tom Brady articulated it. And in that game, the Ravens ran wild on the Patriots. Lamar Jackson was uncatchable. And they just really exposed the soft underbelly of a Patriots defense. And within months, Tom Brady was in a different city, different uniform, and the curtain had closed. So happy days, sad days, legendary moments can be both.
Legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time.
So all of this goes back to play calling. Earlier this week, we spoke about Mike Vrabel's visit with WEEI, in which he talked about play calling and mentioned the words trust and decisiveness, and the fact that he needed to see those things every time they called a play. Those were the most important things when they're calling plays. And he went on for a while, and we discussed it for quite a bit, and we've discussed it on other shows as well throughout. Here's Mike Vrabel on play calling on Wednesday when he was asked about it by Karen Garigian.
You could always sit back after the game and say, hey, we could have done this a little differently. We could have called this again. So that's going to go for every win and every loss. But, I don't think that there's anything that we would want to change or do differently. We don't get to do do-overs.
So there's Mike. After the press conference, since it had become a topic after we broached it and was much discussed, many saying, I listened to EI the next day, and Wiggy's like, what the hell? He was just making fun of the double pass. It wasn't really just that. It was more, I didn't care about the double pass comment nearly as much as I found in the context using the words, we need to have plays that we trust, and we need to be decisive. In that context, it seemed to be indicating that there was a lack of those, just in the context. So I circled up with Mike briefly after the press conference and said, hey, did I misinterpret what you were saying in the context? He said, those are the cardinal rules. We want trust and decisiveness on plays. We want that on all the plays. That's a cardinal rule. I wasn't saying there was an absence of that. And we're happy. And really, it was interesting at the end of Mike's comments. He said, I think we've had a lot of success, and we're going to try and get that same success on Sunday night. He really hasn't said anything like that relative to the play calling. I think we've had a lot of success. And he does want to spread it real thin with everybody. Give the credit around.
Well, that's the other context is we haven't heard him say a whole lot of positive about Josh McDaniels when he's been given a lot of opportunity.
And I don't think he's cognizant of that. necessarily. While we have speculated since August that it's a byproduct of him being Josh being grandfathered in to an extent, perhaps. We've said, is there a smoking gun there? Is he run Ashton Grant to be the OC? Is this his guy? I just on the brief interaction, he wanted to squelch that idea. Squelch. So,
which he didn't have to in talking to you with no cameras around,
this was off the record, so I don't want to reveal too much, but it was just to I don't think he's going to be pissed off. It wasn't off the record. It was just on the side, and I didn't say, hey, I'm going on the record, whatever. But go ahead.
No, I think he is a spreader of both credit and blame.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Right? Aside from, these last few weeks when Drake May's been otherworldly good, and he has given Drake May his flowers. I mean, we talked about it over the summer. He would have great practices. We'd ask Mike Vrabel about that practice the next day, and it's sort of what we expect from it. Yeah, it's fine. Great. Yeah, everybody looked great. Well, offensive lines, doing their thing. Receivers are, got to make plays when Drake. So he is, when things are going well, he wants everybody to share in that, which I think explains some of the reason why he doesn't want to focus on Josh McDaniels when he's asked about Josh McDaniels, because he knows Josh McDaniels gets a lot of credit. So he's trying to spread it out to everybody else on that offensive staff. And when they stink, you very rarely hear him single anybody out. It's, the defense sucked. We couldn't get a stop. But we got to be better on offense. We can't be having penalties on special teams. Like he is trying to spread thin, as you mentioned, both the credit and the blame, depending on the situation.
And he has done that religiously, and we've cited that fact, but the fact that it seemed as if it was exclusionary to a point of being noticed with McDaniels. But I have a theory on why Mike might be more amenable to going deeper, which he did on the offensive play calling than the defensive stuff, because that's what we said here. Like, didn't you just let up 5 straight touchdowns? And it's the offense's fault. They didn't have the ball. I think it's always easier to second-guess offensive play calling than defensive play calling, because you got a choice on offense. You start the play. You're who dictates. Defense reacts. And you can just, they got us. We weren't ready for that. We have to adjust. We have our rules. We're supposed to, if we see this, even if we're not in the right play call, we should adjust. But on offense, when it's 3rd and 4, before the ball is snapped, everybody who even is a casual fan has a preconceived notion of what they want to see from their football team on that play. And if they don't see it and it doesn't work, guy.
Well, and the casual fan is, and I don't blame them. We're doing the same thing oftentimes as media members when we're watching it in real time. What are they watching?
Vrabel is.
They're watching the ball, right? You're watching the ball. And Vrabel's got way more insight on what's going on the defensive side. I think the other important wrinkle for us to point out here, specifically with this Patriots team, the Patriots defense has had to go through some real difficulty when it comes to their leadership. Terrell Williams is out. The veteran, supposed to be first-time defensive coordinator that Mike Vrabel handpicked to come with him to New England, isn't doing that job. He was around the team this week. It was good to see him in the locker room. He's laughing, he's smiling, he's talking to Patriots players in the locker room, and so that's great. Everybody hopes that he's doing better physically. But you have a first-year play caller thrust into a really difficult situation in Zach Core, and I just can't see Mike Vrabel giving him, in this situation, the same type of criticism that he might be willing to give to somebody like Josh McDaniels, who obviously has been around and done it before and had a ton of success.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see what kind of plan is hatched. I guess, ideally, just from Phil and I's conversation here, they're going to GTFB, the Ravens are. So a little more booty. Nobody's going to argue with that.
I don't know, though. If they're GTFB and it's hard to throw down the field.
Well, let's utilize the, if that means utilize the kid between 0 to 10 yards as opposed to everything down 15 to 25.
That's a really interesting piece to this Ravens defense, is where they seem to be softest is in the intermediate area of the field. So between 10 and 20 yards. And they're not very good against play action, and they're not very good when the opposing offense is under center. So that's what I would expect from Josh McDaniels. Run it early, try to get those looks into the minds of the Ravens, then you start throwing some play action right behind the linebackers in that intermediate area. That might be the best way to move it.
Watch out, Drake May. Kyle Hamilton is one of the best in football. Marlon Humphrey has always been good at just being a pest. And
horrible number, but good player.
What?
He's horrible. Not 44 for a cornerback. Brutal.
44 is a great number, period.
Horrible. I know you love
I
that
love
number.
that number. It's my favorite number.
It's a great number for you to like, but you don't love that number because a cornerback wore it.
It's just I love it because Pete Maravich wore it and
Riggins.
John Riggins wore it.
Jerry West.
I don't go back that far. Maravich wore it before 7. He also wore 7. Dan Issel wore it with the Nuggets, of course. What other football 44s did I love? Oh, Chuck Foreman.
Oh, of course.
You don't know who Chuck Foreman is? Oh, Phil hates.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Phil knows when he says, I don't know who somebody is, he's about to digest stupid-ass, grainy highlights.
There's some great 44s.
There are. Hank
Aaron. Willie McCovey. Jim Brown was 44?
Oh, yeah. Floyd Little was 44.
Did you say Reggie Jackson already, Mr. October?
No, Reggie. When we were kids, Reggie Jackson was just the biggest star in sports. And my brother and I, because we did nothing but play wiffle ball, and we batted righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. When I would bat lefty, I would do a Reggie stance, and I would just chant to myself the whole time. Reggie, 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 Reggie. And Snake would just absolutely blister those slider wiffle balls past me, and I would strike out. But my batting helmet would fall off, and I would twist myself into the ground like Reggie did. Okay.
You got me watching highlights from Super Bowl 11 now of Chuck Foreman. Here we go.
Oh, when he was with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Against the Raiders?
Yep.
I just have too much Super Bowl stuff. Hey, everybody. It's time for Kyle Williams. And we will wish you Merry Christmas next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Next week.
I thought you were saying Merry Christmas. Christmas is next week, so we're going to wish you Merry Christmas now.
We will.
We're going to be back next week, though. You're right.
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay. I take it back then.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I have rookie sensation Kyle Williams here. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
You ready for a relevant question?
Let's do it.
First up, Bruce Feldman, one of my favorite writers, writes for The Athletic. This is what he told me on a podcast about Kyle Williams.
Probably my favorite player in the whole draft. I'm not saying he was the best player. I'm not saying he was the best receiver. But there was so much I loved about him. Loved the football character about it. Last winter, Washington State is playing in the Holly Bowl. The head coach was long gone. The offensive coordinator left for Oklahoma, and he decided to play.
You had plenty at stake, personally.
Yeah.
Team didn't have a lot at stake as a group, but you played anyway, you maniac.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Why?
I just love the game. You know, I mean, you never know when it could be your last snap. A lot of people, they take those type of games for advantage because they feel like they have the next step in life. And for me, I was kind of uncertain, you know. So for me, I was just like, if this is my last game, I want to make sure I go out with a bang. And it's just the guys around me that just inspired me to keep playing.
What influence has Steph Diggs had on you? I mean, you're going to be in the league for a long time. And at some point, you're going to turn around and say, my first year I had Steph Diggs next to me. What's it been like?
It's been an honor. I mean, you have a dude that's, in my eyes, is a Hall of Fame type of receiver. I mean, just the gems that he puts on me day in and day out, just the consistency he tells me to keep showing up with, just everything that he tells me, I mean, it just helps and elevates my game. So to have somebody like him, somebody that I grew up looking to, and now I'm sharing the field with them, sharing the locker with them, I mean, it's just like, it's surreal.
Do you have a hobby that would surprise people?
No, I'm more like a chill guy. You know, I like to stay in, play video games. I got a dog, so me and my dogs like to go on long walks. I mean, started getting into hikes a little bit, so I think I'm going to start doing that a little more, take more hikes, enjoy nature.
New England is a hiking mecca.
I've heard about it.
You're going to find some places. You get yourself up to New Hampshire. I want you to do all of them.
You know, yeah, I'm still exploring, you know. The furthest I got to is Boston, so.
Not a lot of good hikes there. You can do the nature trip. What's your dream car?
Dream car is a Lamborghini Urus.
You driving that now?
No. Financially, I just can't do it. But hopefully within the upcoming years, I'll be able to make that purchase.
First car?
First car. My first ever car was a 2006 Ford Mustang. I call her the Bouncing Betty.
Why the Bouncing Betty?
Because every time I used to take off with her, she had a nice little jump to her, and then she was blue, navy blue, Patriots blue.
Blue Bouncing Betty. Bumping. You played some quarterback coming up. Mm-hmm. How's that help you as a wideout?
It's good. You know, you understand when the quarterback's talking, you could understand his terminology. You know, why is he making certain reads, the decisions he's making, and when things don't go right, you kind of have an understanding. It could be pressure, it could be this, I didn't get to see this. So when he's able to talk, I'm able to understand. And, you know, sometimes for receivers, you get frustrated because, like, I'm open. But it's a lot of factors that play into why we don't get the ball or why certain things went the other way. So when he's talking, I'm able to understand him. And, you know, it just keeps everything on a poised level.
Did I'm open used to drive you absolutely bananas when you came back to the huddle?
Oh, my God, because I know it.
Everybody's
I knew you was everybody's open.
You got 3 siblings. Mm-hmm. Where are you in the birth order?
So, fun fact, I really have 7 siblings.
Upgrade.
Yeah,
Just like
3
that.
is just who I stay with. So within the 7, I'm exactly the middle child.
How do you like being there?
It's a lot of pros and cons.
Middle child's supposed to be the peacemaker.
Yeah, so that's who I was. But you know, I didn't always get the love. You kind of get overlooked a little bit because you got the babies, and then the older ones came first, so they get first priority, a lot of things. So, I mean, it came with some good things, but I'm happy because now I create a relationship with each one of my siblings.
That's cool.
And I don't feel like I'm too old or I'm too young for them. So
How young's the youngest?
the youngest one is 17. The oldest one is, I think, 35 or 36.
Favorite Christmas song?
Favorite Christmas song? This Christmas by Chris Brown. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright.
Keep going.
And we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
I don't know if this is going to be the favorite portion this week after the caroling we just did. But, hey, what's your number? You wear number 18. Is that the number that you would prefer to wear?
No. My favorite number is 2. So if I had the option, I would love to go to 2. But 18 has...
Harold Landry has 2 right now.
Yeah, but 18 has a significant meaning to this organization, so I never shy away from it.
Have you spent some time with Matthew Slater?
Chopped it up with him a little bit. Yeah, not too much, but hopefully we built that connection.
Well, you've been a great addition.
Thank you.
Nobody can say enough good things about Kyle Williams. We all feel like Bruce Feldman now. Favorite player? Take care of yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you.